Fast SUVs might seem like a little bit of an oxymoron, but they can still be quite fun. Now, while the Escalade-V with the ridiculous supercharged V8 might be the current king, Nissan is getting in on the game with the NISMO Armada. This is the first time the Armada has received the NISMO treatment, but there is precedence because in the rest of the world, the Armada is the Patrol and there has been a NISMO version. The NISMO formula includes a little bit more power out of the twin-turbo V6, retuned steering, suspension, a little bit louder exhaust, and of course, the visual sporty touches. What is the NISMO Armada like to drive? We're gonna find out today. What's under the hood of the Armada NISMO? Well, we have the VR35, a 3.5-liter direct-injected twin-turbo V6. It makes 35 additional horsepower compared to the non-NISMO version, so 460 horsepower, the same 516 pound-feet of torque. That power number is achieved on premium fuel. It's not a massive upgrade in power, just tuned to be a little sportier. There are some improvements. They actually took some inspiration from the VR38, the GTR's twin-turbo V6, some upgraded components, the scavenger oil pump, and also upgraded the turbine wheels on the turbos. Still paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission, obviously all-wheel drive, and it will tow the same 8,500 pounds as a regular Armada. Let me take you on a tour of the Armada NISMO. The typical NISMO design cues are the red accents, and of course we have those here on the more aggressive front splitter, accenting that blacked out grille with the NISMO logo front and center. This has a very different personality visually compared to the off-road focused Pro 4X and the more luxurious Platinum Reserve in the Armada lineup. We have the new updated C-shaped DRLs here, and this is an actual functional air curtain, so you can channel air through here around the wheels to help the aerodynamic properties, which is important when you have such a large boxy SUV with the frontal area of a small house. But I do like the NISMO personality. It looks imposingly sporty. In terms of the color options, you are going to be more limited on the grayscale palettes. This one's got this like battleship gray finish, which is a signature NISMO color. You can't get something that would clash with the red accents. You have the painted fender flares here, unique 22-inch wheels that are a little bit lighter with the NISMO logo there, the red calipers. These are 275 section tires, 22-inch wheels with the all-season tires. You get another NISMO branding here on the fender, blacked out side mirrors with the red accent, the two-tone finish, unique side skirts too with the red accent. And then coming around back, I really like the anodized red Armada logo. That's a cool touch. Much more aggressive rear diffuser too. With the NISMO logo in the middle, if you're being really picky, you'll notice the red on the NISMO logo and the red on the accent is not the same shade of red, but it's a nice aggressive looking overall aero package, visual design package that just makes the Armada look a bit more tough and sporty. On the inside, we have more anodized red accents. The dash is all suede with the red stitching and this kind of carbon look insert, more of the anodized red across the dash. And the seats are really cool too, slightly more sportier of adjustable bolsters. And I really like this dark red suede contrast insert with some interesting stitching. You get the NISMO logo on the headrest and red contrast stitching there, and red seatbelts, which are always nice and sporty. I think they do a very good job with the whole red NISMO theming on the inside here. Same thing on the center console. You get this red insert, Armada lettering. This can close. You got cup holders, wireless phone charger, and that pattern is supposed to be inspired by Japanese like sand zen gardens, some pieces of Japanese heritage inside. Now here in the QX80, the Infinity platform sibling, you get another touchscreen, but here it's actual physical buttons and controls, which I prefer, right? It's just easier to spin this for your drive modes or press a button, turn your heated seats on, things like that. You have physical buttons here: park, reverse, neutral drive, air suspension, auto stop start. We have the double infotainment screens, which are carryover from the regular Armada. We have the NISMO logo there, and then you get a little red accent touch with the logo too for your tachometer. Steering wheel, same thing, red stitching, NISMO logo, and then they also anodized red the start-stop button. You get aluminum pedals down below. I think it's a pretty nice interior. They even keep the theme back in the second row seats where we have captain's chairs, cup holders here, no big like center console in the middle, but look at the third row. It also has the red suede accenting and the red seatbelts. So it's a fun, sporty interior. Stays nice and premium still. All right, let's go do a bit of driving. I'm gonna toggle into sport mode and let's floor it. All right. It's definitely quicker, but it's not a massive increase in power, right? Percentage-wise, you're talking about not even a 10% increase, and it's more the other aspects of it. They retuned the power steering, suspension, the air suspension has been redone, the different wheels. So it is a overall slightly sportier package. I don't think it's quite as extreme as something like the NISMO GTR, right? And that tracks given the size of the SUV in the class. This is not meant to be a track-capable SUV. Even, for example, the top Escalade-V, right? That thing is crazy, is not full-out track-capable. That does upgrade the supercharged V8, and it brings just world-ending noises and power, and it is utterly ridiculous. Hellcat Durango's a similar formula, the more American way of doing things, because massive supercharged V8, right? Here, it's just a mild retuning. So it does have a different exhaust, so cold starts are a little bit louder, and also it's got the active noise enhancement, which is AKA like enhancement. You know what that means, right? You can kind of tell. Let's play with the paddle shifters a bit. We're currently in sport. There's third gear, no second gear. Floor it. A little hesitation there. Yeah, it's definitely quick. It's definitely quick, but it's like an all-around sportier package. It's funny, they make you go through eco on the way to sport. It's like, are you sure? Do you want to burn extra gas? Yes, I do. I want to go into sport. Or you have tow, you have rock, sand, mud, rut, snow, and then it cycles back to standard. Now, by the other drive modes, you kind of start seeing the personality of this vehicle. It's supposed to still be able to do a little bit of everything, right? They gave it a snow mode, all that kind of off-road stuff. Like, are you really gonna take your 22-inch wheel-clad NISMO Armada off-roading? Maybe. I mean, I saw some of those guys do crazy stuff in the Middle East and the Patrol NISMOs, but this is supposed to be a very different personality from the Pro 4X. The Pro 4X is pretty fun off-road. It adds a little bit more of those credentials. But at the same time, right, this can still tow. It's supposed to be a usable SUV. When they launched this thing, they had an image of a gray NISMO Armada towing a gray NISMO Z to the track. You take it to the track, you could make a pass in this down the drag strip, but then you probably want to unload your GTR or your NISMO Z and take that for a rip. So it's sportier, but still not compromising it. Now, how does the suspension and steering feel? It definitely a little bit firmer in sport when I can feel the bumps along the road. Air suspension can only do so much when you have so much mass, and larger 22-inch wheels definitely don't make this as floaty comfortable. But if I go back into normal, it's still a nice daily driver. As I was driving my way out here to the middle of nowhere, I am just in like the desert mountains outside of Vegas right now. It was solid, comfortable, quiet. The Klipsch sound system, I was pretty impressed by. Like, it was good. It sounded good. It was comfortable and enough power. So let's talk about the pricing. That's where actually I think the NISMO Armada has a pretty good edge. It starts at just under $80,000. And I know that is a lot of money, but in this class of full-size big SUVs, there isn't any like super direct competition here, and if you start talking sporty performance SUVs, they can get really expensive. Ford has the Expedition. They do have the Tremor now, which is off-road focus, going up against something like the Pro 4X. They don't have like an Expedition sporty version. GM, yes, Escalade-V, but that's a whole different price stratosphere, and you don't compare Cadillac with Nissan, right? That's Infiniti. They go up against them. Infiniti, their SEMA build this year, I got to go check it out. The QX80R spec has a 1,000 horsepower GTR VR38. That, that would definitely give the Escalade-V a run for its money. But what else? There isn't anything like in this big body-on-frame, full-size segment that tries to give you a little bit more of the sporty, dynamic experience, and I'm for it. I think it's really, really cool. Nissan is giving us so many different options, different flavors of their Armada, which, to be frank, was so aging in the previous generation. People were kind of forgetting about it, and then they finally like, oh guys, here's the latest Y63 generation global patrol platform, right? And now we finally get the Armada version. Do I wish they gave it a bit more potent power and performance? Yeah, the VR35 must have some potential, because the VR30 does. The aftermarket has definitely turned the VR30 up quite a bit. Obviously, the VR38 does. We have that family lineage. So if they gave this thing 650 horsepower, it'd be hilarious, right? A GTR in a very large sheep's clothing type of thing. but that wasn't the intent. Will they do a more hardcore one? I could see a Armada NISMO R. That would be pretty badass, right? But at the price point, you get a lot of nice features. It's a nice SUV to drive. It is a gigantic brick punching its way through the air, but I find it's comfortable. It hasn't been compromised in terms of the sportiness, and it checks a lot of the boxes I expect out of a full-size, near luxury SUV. It's pretty cool. It looks the part. I really do like the accent touches in this gray. Like if I had a need for 3 rows, I don't have kids, right? It's just me and my wife. But if we ever had a family and needed something big, like this would draw me more because of the sportiness in the touches there versus just a more conventional Expedition or a Suburban or something like that, right? Now, if you want to spend more money and go down a class, yeah, you have X5M, Audi RSQ8. Like, yeah, there's of course options from the Germans. They're ballistically fast and quick, but that's, again, a different segment and total class of vehicle. I am just randomly cruising my way through the desert. I think I'm gonna turn around and head back. But there's first drive impressions of the Armada NISMO. What do you guys think? I think the price point makes it rather appealing. The powertrain is definitely stout. It's pretty good. It's boosted already, so maybe the aftermarket will bring more things. Your typical suite of sporty tuning to wake it up a little bit. How's the turning radius? Ah, not bad. Hesitation there. I'm in standard. Yeah, it sounds a little bit augmented. It's fast. Very stable at pretty healthy high speed right there. Yeah, I like it. It lives up to what we've kind of started to expect with the NISMO trim treatment. Honestly, the NISMO Z was not some sort of monstrous track beast upgrade anymore. They make that with a manual transmission, and then my interest is even more piqued. But there it is, our first drive experience in the NISMO Armada. What do you think? Would you go for one of these as your daily driver? It can still tow. That's genuinely important. Like, use this to tow your race car and then still have a race car. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.